Hi lovely people, welcome back to another video. It's your girl again, Christina. If you're new here guys, my name is Christina. I am a nurse and a part-time braider. On here I do videos on nursing, lifestyle, and a bit of everything. So if you're interested in any of it, please click on the subscription button and be part of this page. So in today's video, I will be talking about my labor and delivery story. As I made mention, I don't know if I'm gonna upload this video or my live update video, but I remember when recording that video, I made mention that I was going to make a whole video on my labor and delivery story, letting you know guys all that went on, because with my labor and delivery video that I recorded, guys, I felt it was not even enough. Like a whole lot had went on. So this is just gonna be like a brief story letting you know all that transpired. So stay and don't move, okay? Alright guys, so on July 8th I went in for my checkup. I was 38 weeks and 3 days, and I went in for my regular, prenatal appointment. And funny enough guys, throughout my 9-month journey, like pregnancy, especially with this particular pregnancy, I had not gone for any appointment with my husband. With my 2 other girls, like, he was totally involved from A to Z, but with this one, for some reason, I got some sort of strength. Like sometimes he doesn't even know when I go for appointment. All he will see is I'm back from the appointment. So it was just on the 8th that when I woke up, I was like, babe, can you please go with me for my appointment, because I feel today might be the last appointment I will go, and next week maybe baby will come. So if you don't mind coming. He was like, oh, no problem. He got dressed and everything, and we went for the appointment. So we went to the appointment. Everything was like, it was so quick. The doctor just basically asked me if I had any questions for him, and I remember asking him the things I can do to induce myself early. I knew it, guys. I have been researching a lot, and I knew it, but I just wanted, a professional, view on that. So I think I remember asking him about castor oil, and he said, oh yeah, it's good. A lot of people use it and it's healthy, so you can use it if you want to. Okay, so baby Aaron wants to take the microphone. So he said, yeah, you can do it. I said, okay, then when I get home I'll try it. So we had a brief conversation, and he checks baby's heartbeat. It was perfect. So when we were about walking outside, he called me back and he was like, Christina, do you have like 20 minutes? I was like, yes. And he was like, during my second child's birth process, at the moment I was pushing her, it was time for me to push her, my blood pressure went up. So at that brief moment, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. At that moment, I don't have any issues with my blood pressure, but it was that instant I was pushing her that my blood pressure some way somehow went up. So I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. So the doctor was like, do you mind giving us like 20 minutes? You can go to labor and delivery so they can run a non-stress test on you because of your history of preeclampsia. I said, okay, no problem. Mind you, he said this test was going to take like 20 minutes. And yes, it's a test that doesn't take a lot of time unless there is an issue. So I got to labor and delivery. I was hooked on the machine, the monitor and everything, and baby's heartbeat was running okay. 2 hours later, my husband was like, they said it was gonna take 20 minutes. Look at the time. And at the time he had to also come home and get prepared for work and stuff like that. So I was like, yes. I called for the nurse. Oh boy. I called for the nurse And I told the nurse, like, I was told this would take like 20 minutes. What is going on? And the nurse was like, you know, sometimes when they hook you on a machine, they will also have a machine they'll be monitoring from their office or the nursing station or wherever they will be. So she said when they were monitoring the machine, there was a drastic fall of the baby's heartbeat. That was a fetal heart deceleration. And it was very drastic, so they are waiting for it to come back to normal before they can let me go. But if they still doesn't see any change, it's either they admit me and induce me, or they will keep monitoring me till it gets to the part, or it gets to the level they are expecting. I was like, what? My little girl would say, wait a minute. I was like, what is going on? Guys, we had just walked in for our regular appointment. Okay, fast forward. We were laying there. 30 minutes later, the doctor walks in. She also came in to speak with me, and it still was not improving. I'm like, what is going on? Like, things were starting to change to the north. From south to the north. I'm like, okay. So we were there, and the doctor was like, you know what, things are still not changing, so we would have to admit you and induce you. And induction was the last word I wanted to hear, because I had a very bad experience with my first child. 24 hours. So I just did not want to get induced at the hospital. So I was just praying to avoid it. And here we are. We just had to. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, anyway. So my husband was like, you know what? Let's tell them something. Let's make a story out. Because we were, guys, we did not have our hospital bag. Nothing. We were not prepared for anything. We tried to tell the doctor any story, like cook up something, but she was like, please, we cannot let you go home with this condition, guys, because you never can tell what can happen on your way to the house, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my goodness, what? Okay guys, so the long and short of it, I got admitted. They took me to my room, hooked me on the machine, started the Pitocin, and just name it. All the things they have to hook me on to start inducing. I'm like, oh my goodness. So my husband had to come home. Luckily enough, I had packed my hospital bag. It was ready to go. So he just picked that. And the most painful thing was when I was going for the appointment, I had not eaten. And whenever, the moment they admit you, no food for you. I was like, okay. So we were there. We went around like, was it 8 a.m? We were there and there. Oh my god. Contraction did not start early, but I was thankful because I was 38 weeks 3 weeks, so it makes sense. I was still full-time, so it was not too much of a worry. So they started me. Contraction did not start early, and this time around your girl was going all natural. Sorry. So this time around your girl planned to go all natural. Okay, no epidural, nothing, just going natural. Okay, doing it the big girl's way. Okay, because my two other girls, I had epidural. So I was there, and the nurse, the first shift nurse, she was like, she saw this video on TikTok that when you press on a comb, if you watch my labor and delivery video, you see that I was pressing on this comb. The nurse said she saw that on TikTok, that if you press on the comb, you will not feel the contraction that much. You end up concentrating on the pain in your palm than the pain you feel in, you know, your contraction pains. And guys, trust me, it worked. It worked. I would say maybe 50 to 60% it did work. It helped a lot. So, you know, I was good to go. I was just pulling through, and we were 6 centimeters, and still your girl was rocking it. I was determined. I was determined to do it. So 6 centimeters, they got everything ready, baby's bed and everything, all the instrument they're gonna use and stuff like that. Oh my god. All of a sudden, the nurses had changed shift, because I could not, like, it did not happen on the first shift nurses. The second shift nurse had come in, so it was on her shift. Like, all of a sudden, I wanted to put myself to sleep. All of a sudden, I saw her rushed in my room, and I freaked out. My husband was fast asleep, because I was controlling the contractions. I wasn't making noise, like nothing. I was like, yeah, I was taking it hard. So my husband was fast asleep. I was trying to put myself to sleep, and she ran. The moment she came, she was like, Miss Christina, can you lay on your right? I did, not knowing that baby's heartbeat was dropping. Guys, it was in the 42s, 40, like it was in the 45, 42, dropping. She was like, lay on your left. We did. It wasn't improving. Lay on your right. It still was not improving. Oh my goodness. And guys, within a twinkle of an eye, the whole room was filled with medical personnel. It was all green, because the uniform they wear is green. Guys, the room was packed. If I'm not exaggerating, I'll say like over 20 medical personnel. The whole room was full. I could not even see where my husband was anymore. And they were like I should be on my knee. You know, they have a term for and a name for that particular position. So I was on my knee, with my shoulders on the bed. Oh my goodness. And guys, they were trying to revive the baby through my behind, in my private area. So just imagine, no epidural still, and they, oh my goodness. God is good. God is good. Within minutes, guys, the monitor was reading a question mark. The heartbeat could not be detected. It was all question mark on the heartbeat monitor. They could not. And the doctor quickly ran me through. She was like, Christina, you know what, we don't know what is going on. We have inserted an internal monitor, something to just know what is going on, but we still cannot figure out. So you know what, we're gonna rush you to the theater, and we may perform an emergency C-section. At the point, I could not decide. I was lost, totally lost. I'm like, what? Because guys, everything was going so smoothly. I was so happy. Baby's bed was set, instruments were ready. So what changed? What happened? I could not even utter a word. And guys, they just had to unplug all the machine and rushed me. If I say rush, it was a run. You see, when you watch those Grey's Anatomy movies, the way they rush people into the hospital, that's what I'm talking about. They had to wheel me full speed into the theater. But thankful to God, when we got to the theater, baby's heartbeat came back to a 130. Hallelujah. But they still were not convinced. They were like, I am still 6 centimeters dilated. So from the 6 to the 10, anything can happen. So I mean, they are not giving me any pressure. They can still let me lay down there and keep monitoring me, okay? But anything can happen within the 6 to the 10. So she was like, so she was just staring at me, and guys, I busted in tears. I cried, and even till then, my husband was nowhere to be found, because he was totally lost. He was totally lost. So I remember one nurse came to me and she was like, who are you here with? I said I was here with my husband. She said, oh, okay, let me go in and get him. So my husband came in later on, and I had already spoken with the doctor, and I remember my statements like it was a few seconds ago. I was like, whatever you do to save my baby and me, please go ahead and do it. And the moment I completed my statements, guys, like they were preparing me for C-section, rubbing whatever they would rub on my belly, and oh my god, all I could do was to cry and cry and cry. So I remember my husband came in, and the nurse was like, can I have your phone to take pictures? I recorded. He was like, you know what, I am not ready for this, like just take the baby out, save the mother, save the baby, and we are okay. No pictures. Like, oh my goodness, he could not take it to even like take the phone to take pictures, and all I could do was to cry. I was just shedding tears, and I could feel it when they were pulling the baby out. I could feel a little pressure. I was like, oh my god. And I have watched videos of C-section before on, you know, internet and stuff like that. So just imagining myself in that, I'm like, oh my goodness, it was not easy. But one thing I am thankful and super thankful to God was I did not panic one bit throughout them wheeling me to the theater and everything. I did not even feel any shock whatsoever. I was surprised that things were happening like that, but I was not afraid. What I kept doing was pray. I kept praying and praying and praying. But it was that moment when I had to tell the doctor that do whatever you can do, or do whatever you will do to save my baby and me. That was the moment I started to cry. But even then, I still was not panicking or scared or anything like that, which I'm thankful for, because it could have affected my blood pressure again, and maybe it would have been worse. But I am thankful to God that nothing of that sort happened. But I kept praying. I kept praying. So my husband came. He was sitting at my head area, and he was just cheering me out. When they brought baby out, it was like he was giving me whatever that was happening behind the sheets. He would tell me baby's out. He looks like the oldest, like the first girl, and they are cleaning baby. Like, he was giving me all those details. And funny enough, he's my smallest baby, because my first was 8 pounds and 40 something inches, and I remember the second one was almost 10 pounds, and baby Aaron was 6 pounds and 14 inches. I'm like, little man, you see what you put mommy through? Yeah, surprisingly enough, he's finally asleep. So that happened, and it was crazy. It was crazy. And the position I was laying in, it was really hard for me to control my breathing. So at a point I felt I was just giving, like I was closing my eyes, and I remember my husband would squeeze my hand and he would be like, open your eyes. The moment I tried to, he would be like, squeeze my hand and would be like, open your eyes. So yeah, I think those were the words that I remember from him, and everything was done within minutes. Like, it was quick. It was very, very quick. Everything was done, and I was kept there for some time before they took me to the recovery room and stuff like that. And guys, C-section should not be taken lightly. Like, a lot should go into that. More counseling, more, like, unless it becomes an emergency like my situation. Oh my goodness, Lord. Like, experiencing vaginal birth and C-section is not easy. Because I remember when I first had my daughter, my first child, I resumed work 3 weeks. Not that I was fully recovered, but there was this position, like, I just had to jump on it. It wasn't like a full time, it was just every other weekend or something like that. And I liked the facility, okay? So I just accepted to work, and it was good. Like 3 weeks I could go back to work. But C-section, man, you cannot laugh, you cannot cough, you cannot smile. Like, guys, you are limited into doing a lot of things. I remember, if I have to cough, I have to put a pillow on it. Oh my goodness, guys, I don't plan to be emotional on this video. No, I am not gonna be. Yeah, it was not easy. It was not so easy, because I wasn't prepared mentally, psychologically, like spiritually, nothing. I wasn't prepared for it. It was an extremely emergency situation that had to happen, okay? So I remember, like, within the first week, oh my goodness, it took a toll on me. And it was done on Saturday, so July 9th baby came, and the 10th my breast milk started coming in, and having fresh surgery, major surgery at that, and putting baby on you to breastfeed. Guys, God bless women, God bless mothers. Oh my goodness, I am thankful to God for life, for the life of my child. The pain was just worth it, because at the end of the day, and that is one thing that made me snap out of my pain, because I was like a thin line into getting into postpartum depression. But I'm thankful to my mom, I'm thankful to my husband, my mother-in-law back home in Ghana. Like, she was calling every day, because she told me she has had C-section before, so she knew, like, whatever I was going through, she knows. So she was calling every day. So I had all this external help, and I am super. So guys, that is basically everything that happened, and all I just want to say is thank you, Jesus, for making this happen, because it's in your will. That is why you made it happen this way.